Back here alongside John Ramdeen and Robin Black. One of the announcements that the UFC made on Sunday's broadcast in Phoenix is that the Ultimate Fighter, which I'm going to just call Teflon, nothing will ever get to this franchise. It is back in April. The season is being called Redemption and will be coached by new Bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw, meaning, presumably we assume, injuries out of the mix, that they will fight at the end of this season. And the idea is that it will be past winners from TUF, contestants, and at least one active fighter
Who's the one
on the UFC.
I was curious to know about that. Do you know?
I don't know who it is.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's out there, but it's very hard to think of that. Our job, 60 hours a week, consume fighting, and we can't even get it all. You know what I mean? So that's a pretty tricky thing. There's so much of it.
I don't care about the show myself. I care about the fight between Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But so
let me ask. Sorry, Robin,
Yeah.
but as two guys, and count me as a third as well, that really want to see that fight, they are going to now hold them off until July, at least now, for this fight. That's a long time to go when you have a lot of cards to fill. And this isn't the Spike days where being coaches ups your star profile. I mean, the people watching TUF now, it's the hardcores. Yeah. They're the ones watching this.
Well, okay, so we're all sitting in a room. So let's take off our fighting hats and put on our TV hats. And we're sitting in a room, we're like, well, what do we do about these guys? People like them, but they're not that big. Well, we try to put them on TV. But you know, the TV isn't selling that much anymore. What are other TV shows doing? People used to like cooking shows, but now they have celebrities on the cooking shows. Famous people already on the show. So let's take famous fighters and put them on the show. Joe Stevenson and guys of that era and new guys. We're putting famous fighters on The Ultimate Fighter, and we're trying to use it to sell these guys. So the guys with the TV hats are really going after it. I mean, there's not an argument that if Conor's gone for a year and if Ronda doesn't fight anymore and Anderson Silva, you know, is this his last fight? BJ Penn, we just saw,
George,
you know, George. Yeah. If I'm George and I'm looking at this new thing, I'm like, I don't know, man. Who should I fight? You know, they got to find some way, and the TV people are trying. But the fight itself, if you're a fight fan, you don't need no convincing. Yeah. I mean, these are two guys at the highest level, and Cody Garbrandt really showed you everything you needed to see against Dominick Cruz for 25 minutes. We didn't know. There was some unknowns. Is he that good? Well, he seems pretty good. He likes to hit people, they fall down. But we really saw it. 25 minutes of it against the best fighter in the world, highly evolved in his own right. Now we believe. Then we see TJ Dillashaw, the three of them at this peak. What is happening is they're going to push each other to be greater. They're going to push each other to change it up. They're going to push each. It's going to get more and more complicated.
And the division, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you're coming up there, it's not one guy up there. It's three of them. You must out-evolve them. You must outwork them. You must outgrow them. And they're going to do that to each other. It'll be 18 months till we really see whoever is the best of these three, but whoever it is going to be the greatest fighter we've ever seen in human history. Maybe save Demetrius Johnson.
Whoa. I'm glad the fight's happening. I looked that bantamweight division. We went over it for an entire discussion about just how incredible this top 10 is, and you're putting the champion and challenger. I get that.
Do you know what I mean? So during
they're promoting it. Think about this though. Dominick Cruz, the earliest he's ever going to get a crack at this winner is probably the end of 2017.
I'm sure he's like, you know what? That'll give me enough time to try to figure stuff out. And during that time, the Thomas Almeidas and the Brian Caraways and the Aljamain Sterlings, they can kind of figure out their spot for the number 2 or 3 contender. So after the Ultimate
Put an interim title in. Why not?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Dude, I would not. It would not shock me at all.
Yeah,
put 2 in. But I'll tell you, try to just put yourself in Dom's shoes. We don't know him a great deal personally, but from what we've tried to gather of him, put yourself in his shoes. He is one of the greatest of all time, and he has now made himself successful. He has made himself other careers. If he's going to go after it, he's going to go after it. You know, really go after it. Really try to and not just beat who's ever the champion, but destroy them and create something new. He'd be glad to. If I'm him and I'm looking at that, I'm like, in October, I'm going to be the best fighter you've ever seen. We're going to start from there, the things I must do, and we're going to reverse engineer back to here. That'll lay out our game plan for the next 11 months or whatever. And when I come back, I'm going to annihilate who's ever there. That's how you'd be thinking if you were Dominick Cruz.
Last thing, if I take Robin's TV hat on and you're looking at that one active UFC fighter, what would your reaction be? And I have no knowledge of this. If it were to be CM Punk, would this be the avenue? If the UFC...
He's getting murdered.
But if you're going to use them, if they
would this be the right vehicle to you? I don't disagree with Rob.
Yes.
I don't think this is going to be.
It's a TV show, and chances are he's going to get beaten on the TV show. But you want him there for ratings.
Honestly, I can't remember who it is, but I've heard that it is somebody who either won another Ultimate Fighter or was a runner-up of one who's still fighting. So not Kelvin Gastelum, who is at the top, but it's somebody of that kind of stature. Go into our notes underneath our YouTube channel and let us know who it is and tell us how completely stupid we are that this is what we do and we don't know, but it is somebody like that.
That's going to wrap it up for us as The Ultimate Fighter returns in April.